What's up, guys and gals? Welcome back to the Nerd Castle. Today in the world of indie games, we're going to be checking out a title called Raidborn. This is a dungeon-crawling RPG that is not like in an open world, but it does have like a world that is full of things for you to do, and oh my god, I am getting absolutely whooped on right now. Just circle strafe and hope for the best. But Raidborn is a game where there's a central town, and you participate in quests inside that central town. You get mail to your cabin. It's basically the Skyrim experience were you to... I'm out of stamina. It's basically the Skyrim experience were you to get rid of the open world component and only have, like, dungeons to fool around inside of. And honestly, I've been really impressed by the level design of this game. It's got really, really nice level design. It's also got pretty good combat, which just got overhauled, and that's one of the reasons why I'd been holding off from covering it since the time that we went through the first early access release of the game, right about the time that it came out. We covered it back then, but the game has wholly changed like a whole bunch since then, so it's time to dive back on in. If after watching this, you wanted to get the game for yourself, I do have a link for you down below in the description. You can also take a look down there, and you can find a link to my Twitch stream and my Discord just in case you wanted to hang out live. But let's dive straight on into the title. What is Raidborn? Raidborn is a procedural dungeon crawler where you get quests from a centralized town. It does have a narrative and a storyline that you're going to play along with. I don't know how far and how close to completion that is. Given that the game is in early access, it's currently, I think, in a 0.5 iteration to give you some rough idea of where the game is at. So potentially like half done, I guess, if the version numbers imply their way on up to 1.0. Since the game came out about a year ago, it's had 4 or 5 major content updates that have all reworked core systems and fiddled around with things, and this is the point at which I feel like they've got themselves a solid diving board built to build something more sophisticated on top of the already well-designed bones that the game currently has. And so the narrative of the game is roughly that you are a new recruit that is invited on into the castle in order to be a king's guard or something like that. The king gets assassinated while you're being presented to the king. Everybody assumes that you have something to do with it, and you have to run away. Effectively, someone lets you out of jail, you run away off into the woods into a cabin, and from the cabin you will get various mail and missives. You're kind of like, I suppose, out in kind of the provincial corners of the kingdom where no one will find you, and you've decided to make a life for yourself as an adventurer while your contacts that are back inside the castle are trying to smooth things over for you while you do good deeds, and you go around doing things that prove that you had nothing to do with the king's death. Back at your home place, you've got crafting benches and things that you can fiddle around with. The game has a fairly extensive crafting system from what I've seen so far. You'll build up a character, you'll level up, you'll get XP, you'll collect new equipment, you'll get stronger. As of right now, in the current build of the game, I haven't seen... Oh, there's somebody behind me too, huh? There is someone behind me. All right, let's give him a little shield bash right there. Knock him back. If I can stun this guy, I can kick him into the spikes. Let's see if we can stun him. So every enemy has a green bar, and they have a... Get spiked. There we go. Every single enemy has a green bar that you'll see up top while I'm fighting them. That's a Sekiro-style balance meter. Once that goes down to 0, they get stunned, and they just stand there, and they become capable of being ragdolled. Once they're capable of being ragdolled, you can kick them and like push them into spikes and environmental hazards and stuff like that. The bottom meter, the green one or the white one, depending on who you're looking at. The red one will be their health. The white one that overlays that is their armor. And actually, one thing I do like about this game is that the enemies take battle damage. And so, like, while you're running around fighting with guys, I'm going to go ahead and block that right there. While you're running around fighting with guys, like when you get rid of the white meter that's on their health, big chunks of their armor and whatnot will fly off just to imply that they are now open to taking normal damage. I think there's a lot of really great visual things with this game, but the biggest one from the last time that I played the title is I played this like back in December to try to decide whether or not I wanted to cover the game again, and I fell back on no. It hadn't shown a lot of advancement with the 1 or 2 content patches that had come out that convinced me that the game was on a trajectory that I was like excited about, and I like to cover things that I'm excited about. So in the case of this game, this newest patch that they just put out completely overhauled the game's combat. So the combat is completely different now and much more in-depth than it was prior, where all of the pieces, like the old version of this game was very hack and slashy. the skill cap was very, very low. Basically, you were just trying to out-tank or out-DPS your opponent before they out-DPS'd or out-tanked you. It was a very hack-and-slashy thing. It didn't really do much for me. There wasn't a lot of supplemental things to do inside of combat. It's much more interesting now. They've introduced a parrying system, they've introduced kicks, and they've got multiple meters now that are working on enemies. I don't know if those were in the last time, but for whatever reason, maybe my mind is just more open to the game this time around, but I'm enjoying it a bit more. That doesn't mean that I'm without complaints while we're going to be playing the video here today. These are, after all, first impressions videos, and I do like to give a little bit of feedback to developers, just me from the gamer side, what I would like to see and what would make the game feel a little bit better. But right now, I'm not really on a quest. I'm just in a procedural dungeon right now because I needed to track down some alchemical reagents for a person in town, and those alchemical reagents can only be found in the undead dungeons. And so I'm just gonna like whack some undead here, but there's like some kind of fruit wine or something that they wanted from down in here to create a cleansing potion because some guy was convinced that his daughter has a new fiance, and he doesn't like the new fiance, and he's convinced that she was drugged basically with like a love potion. And so we're crafting a potion right now that will dispel the effects of said love potion. Can I kick him off the railing? Oh, I can. Oh, he took fall damage too. Nice, dude. Absolutely love that. I honestly didn't expect him to take any fall damage right there. The game does have a stealth system, so you can sneak around. I'm pretty sure this skeleton's going to come to life right here when I creep up on him. They have line of sight, and if I just bash him real good, yeah, it got rid of like all of his armor in one sweep. We'll stop that heavy strike right there because those things tend to sting. And another one bites the dust. Now, looting enemies in this game can give you a number of different things and materials. You can't loot enemies' weapons. Technically, you can, but what happens is all weapons in this game are considered, like, decrepit. And so that weapon right there, we pick that up and it counts as weapon remains. And then we can take the weapon remains back to our base and we can salvage them in order to get parts like wood and leather and iron and scrap and things of that nature that allow us to turn them into actual craftable materials. The biggest thing that I like about this game is, in fact, the map design. The map design and the proceduralism in this game are quite good. Ow, I got sliced. Are quite good compared to a lot of the compatriots inside of this industry. If the developer doesn't manage to get this game pulled together, I have no doubt that this guy could get hired just about anywhere as a level designer. Like the maps, the lighting, all very tasteful. They look good. The maps make sense. They have like halls and branching off areas. You can tell that the proceduralism has been designed to be immersive here. And there are little secrets, like sometimes you'll find like a little button or something on the side of this and it'll open up a wall. There's an occasional secret or two that you'll find around, so I do recommend combing through the map itself. There's a vigor plant right there. That's going to allow me to make stamina potions. I'm also going to health potion up real fast. We have 10 arrows and 39 gold inside of there. The entire UI in this game is like a one-for-one conversion of Skyrim. If you hate the Skyrim inventory, you will hate this game's inventory as well. I hate to tell you, because it's quite literally the exact same UI from Skyrim. Even the way that you're notified about things that you loot and whatnot are the same as what you would see in Skyrim. Hey, that's one of the things that I need right there. Graveberry juice. We can only get that inside necromancy layers, and I think I need 10 of them to help dispel the... I don't think there's actually going to be an enchantment on the guy's daughter. I think he just doesn't like her boyfriend. But, ooh, a mystery cube. Nice. I'll take a mystery cube. You will occasionally find things in this game that you can interact with inside your inventory. So coin pouches, they give you 20 gold. A mystery cube, I don't actually know what it does. It gave me 65 bucks. And then the second one, I think damaged me maybe. So they're like little gambling cubes that you can open up. You'll also find, I like the looting in this game as well. You'll find like gold candlesticks. It's pretty rare that you just find coins laying around. You will occasionally find coins laying around, but you'll find things like ore that can be sold to blacksmiths. You'll find like candlesticks. You'll find golden jugs. You'll find loose gemstones, things that make the looting process a little bit more interesting to look at. Every single dungeon in this game thus far has had the same objective: get to the end and kill a boss. I would like to see that get diversified a little bit as the game goes through its development. You have, dungeons where you've got to get to the end and activate like a lever before a timer goes down and the whole place starts to fill with gas. Or, you know, you've got to rescue some people and then escort them out of the dungeon. A little bit more diversity would really help right here. Another complaint that I have about the game is that there's not a whole lot of enemy variety. Everything you fight in this game is basically a bipedal humanoid, like even the monsters. And I'm guessing that has to do with the fact that maybe like modeling and animating and stuff like that. The game is using Cinti assets. This game is entirely comprised from assets and modified assets as far as I can tell, but this just stands as proof that you can actually make something pretty rad using assets that stands out among the rest of the competition. Still, that being said, I would like to see more monster variety added on into the game. Not necessarily just bipedal bandits and goblins and skeletons and things of that nature. I'd like to see wolves and bats and slimes and all those other standard fare enemies you tend to see here that are not using the same rigging and animation. Are you alive? You're alive. I knew it. That are not using the same rigging and animation as everything else in the game, because you will start to notice that the animations are shared between all of the different monsters and races that you're going to be fighting throughout the course of the game. Thus far, after playing for about 2 hours, I think I fought mutants, I think I fought skeletons, I think I fought goblins and orcs, and then from there, I did see something that was encouraging that may mean the developer is starting to fool around maybe with adding quadrupedal enemies to the game. One of the dungeons that I went on into, ooh, it's a skeleton king, eh? Tried to hit me with that opening heavy strike, huh? It's gonna be like that, is it? There we go. Let's bump him back a little bit. We're doing pretty good on that stamina meter right there. Oh, we got thumped. However, my stamina is also running out, so what I'd like to do is knock him down and just let my stamina regenerate real fast. And then we'll get him a big bonk right there. Just keep him kind of stun-locked with parries. He knocked my shield back. What do we... Oh, he got that one off right there. Got that one off, too. I was hoping that he wouldn't. I'm almost out of stamina. Might be time for a kick just to sit him down for a second. Let myself regenerate. There we go. All right, let's get on in here. Oh, he's got magic spells? What did he do? I haven't really seen any magic inside the confines of the game so far, so I'm not really sure what to expect whenever somebody uses magic on me. I don't think the player can use magic. This would probably be a decent segue into looking at the skills that you can... Ooh, a steel ingot. Nice. There does seem to be some kind of weapon and also armor upgrading system in the game that I haven't fooled around with just yet. Oh, we finished the quest. Very nice. And I got a lockpick right here. Lockpicking in this game is basically just brute forcing. We gotta go. There we go. There it is. Got it right before I ran out. And it looks like we got some goblets, some we got a goblet, a nugget, we got a candlestick, so that's the good stuff. When you are done with a map, you can just up and leave. You press the M key and you can teleport from anywhere to anywhere. The map does repopulate itself with new places for you to adventure inside of as you go through the game. And then on top of that, you will also get question mark locations. The question mark locations are hand-designed locations. You'll get letters every now and again back at your house, which is right here. And the letters will give you, you'll either find letters inside your house, or sometimes you find scrolls or things in dungeons that will give you hand-tailored, handmade locations, which are the question mark locations. And that's where quests get a little bit more interesting. One of them, I had to hold a farmhouse against never-ending waves of mutants because a guy had pissed off a witch that was, well, a witch fell in love with him and hates his wife, so she's trying to assassinate his wife by, like, cursing his farm. And I had to hold off, like, never-ending magically conjured mutants in order to get that done. But if you get a new letter that's going to give you a question mark location, they can be puzzle locations. So some of them are kind of like escape rooms where you've got to, like, iteratively work through switches and binary logic puzzles and things like that in order to get further on in. Some of them are really, really simple. It'll be like a Karen that wants a certain offering, and I don't know exactly what happens yet if I bring that offering to them. But this is my cabin. I would like to be able to decorate the cabin myself, in fact. I think that would be a really, really good way for them to use crafting materials to allow you to place different objects and things inside your house. So I think at the beginning of the game, this place should be totally empty except for the mailbox and the crafting bench and, like, maybe the kitchen. But from there, like, all of the bookcases and everything, what if you use the salvage from weapons and stuff to decorate your own house and like hang up banners and hang up posters and kind of make the place homey and make it your own. They could even tie that into the loot system where you need very specific like rare drops and whatnot off enemies to make things like, you know, to make the deer trophy or like the more complex stuff in order to make the game more interesting. But as I said, a segue on into the skills in this game that are implemented so far. At the moment, you have Barbarian, you have Defender, you have Knight, you have Rogue, and then you have miscellaneous skills over here. As far as I can tell, you learn these from books. And so if you have a learning point, you can learn these over here, and then it'll get added on in. And you can get learning points from books. You can get them from various locations. I think for right now, I was working on Knight, and I think I needed a point in agility so that I could unlock Weapon Master, the one-handed master up here. So I need agility tier 1, which I have now, and then I needed defense tier 1. So I got to buy that one down there if I wanted to make it happen. I do have a learning point. The learning point, I think, lets me use books in order to learn stuff. And I was going to get lockpicking anyways, which decreases the chance you'll break a lockpick every single time you fail to brute force a chest. And so I break a lot of lockpicks. But there's a couple different gameplay styles you can go for right now, mostly revolving around melee. So there's Barbarian, which is all two-handed and parrying stuff. You've got Defender, which is all about armor and HP, and also making your parry stronger. Oh, I guess this guy's all about kicking and rage mode. So Defender is all about parrying and heavy armor. Barbarian is all about building around rage mode and kicking people and dealing damage with two-handed weapons. Knight is sword and board over here. And so far, I have liked the skills that I've picked up. So right now, it looks like my shields will reflect damage back at my opponent. And then I can upgrade my shields with shield upgrade kits on the next level. For agility, it looks like my combo points go up. I don't know if the combo points increase your damage or what. There is like an entire learning session over here that you can go for to learn how various systems work. And there is a full tutorial to the game as well. I'm guessing later on that this map is going to allow you to go to like other kingdoms or something. I don't know if it's identical to the one that I'm currently in right now. But some of this stuff doesn't have a use just yet. I'm guessing there's going to be like a cooking or like a survival system in the game at some point, because it looks like there's going to be a cooking station on this side. It says I have a message that I need to answer, but I don't see where it's at. There we go. It's just a tutorial message that it wanted me to go through. I thought that it meant that I had something new in my mailbox, but I was like, I don't see anything new in my mailbox right now. Since I have a quest to turn in, I will introduce you to Everband City, which, as far as RPG cities go, feels pretty lively and lived in. This place is pretty large, and I highly suggest you look around because there are secrets all over this city that will net you like extra loot and extra goodies, like that stump right there. I would have liked to have seen the top break off of it or like shatter or something when I looted that right there just as a confirmation, but still, there's all kinds of nooks and crannies in this city you can get into to find secret loot. There are vendors. You could go and buy potions from the potion trader. This guy over here is a bow vendor. And so I'll probably actually sell off some of the loot we got inside the last dungeon. I don't know if I have a lot of things around, but I should have something that I can sell. I'll probably sell off the copper ingots. We got a gold kettle and a gold nugget, the gold ore right there, a golden candlestick, a couple of silver candlesticks, silver cups, goblins, or goblets, 9 of our ores and things right there. You'll also find legendary armors and legendary weapon fragments inside of each of the dungeons. I haven't combined any of them yet, but I found one for like a shield on a different playthrough, and then this one, I think I found one for a sword on my last playthrough too, and then on this run, I found what looks to be dragon armor. There's no map for the town, there's no mini-map or anything, but if you find someone that's got an exclamation point marking them, that means they've got a quest for you. The quests in this game are very much side quests, so they're just things for you to do while you're running procedural dungeons anyways. I do think that I could probably get like a new weapon in here, although I'm specialized into hammers, one-handed hammers specifically, and so I think I've already got the best one-handed hammer that I can have for right now. But check back frequently because the merchants get new objects from time to time inside their inventory. I don't know if it's like linked up to levels or what, But this guy has a terrible disease from which he suffers a lot. For quite a while now, I've been saving up to do my son some good. He's fascinated with castle ruins, and one of his absolute favorite places is Wormreach Fortress. To cheer him up, I want to throw a surprise party there, but it's infested with skeletons. All right, yeah, I can kill some skeletons. I don't really mind. So this guy over here should be the turn-in for one of our quests. Thank goodness you're back. Things are getting worse. Did you get me the skeleton teeth? Thank you. That's going to make the difference with the fight against Nicholas. I hope you like this reward. 15 lockpicks and 280 gold? I'll take it. I needed lockpicks really, really badly. So exclamation points are quests that are ready for turn-in, and then question marks are quests that you can pick up while you're out and about.
Good day to you.
This guy, the problem's already been solved. The monster never came back from his last trip to the woods. I guess he wasn't the only monster causing mischief there. Nevertheless, I appreciate your efforts. Here, take this. You earned it. All right, bunch of arrows, some XP, and some gold. I'll take that. It says I got another one to turn in over here, but I don't remember taking a third quest. So this one's all a surprise to me. Oh, this was the lady. She wanted me to headshot enemies with a bow. You did it. That's impressive. You've earned this reward. There we go. And so 2 more health potions, some arrows, and some gold as well.
Won't find fairer prices.
You got any rad armor over here that I could play around with? What am I currently wearing right now? You don't ever get to see your character, so there's not going to be any appearance change or anything. But your armor has different stats to it. It has armor and it has handling. I think handling is how fast you like parry and can break animations while fighting. And so you want to have good handling on stuff. I guess I'll take the heavy leather armor. Oh, I need a skill in order to get there. So I need toughness, and I need counter tactics. Okay, so we're going to have to get a little bit further on into the game then, because I want to buy a better armor, but they're skill locked. And so I guess you've got to learn to handle your armor. But I think we're probably ready to go into the storyline dungeon that I've been waiting to fiddle around with. So let's go into the Eternal Grotto and see what kind of trouble that we can get ourselves into. For right now, I think that Raidborn is in a good spot that looks promising. That's my takeaways. The last time I played the game, I was like, it hasn't really changed that much. The combat's still overly simple. The combat is still pretty simple, but the foundations of how everything feels and how everything looks are in a really, really good spot. And it feels like the game is kind of at that point where it's time to start sort of dumping content into it and getting new things on in there. And that's good news, because that's pretty much my takeaway from the game, is that it needs to have more enemy variety and it needs to have more stuff inside of it. I would also greatly appreciate if they gave you like an appearance of your character somewhere, just so you get some kind of visual representation of your character getting... Oh my god, they're everywhere. Okay. Yeah, I'm in pain right now. Bump you two back. Whack you. He's parried up, so we'll kick him. Ow. My stamina's starting to break. Alright, he's down, and that guy's throwing spears at us. Let me get a health potion on board. She's now down. There is archery in this game. You can play ranged if you want. So no magic, but there's ranged and there's melee. I'm not very good at ranged. I haven't been putting points into it, so you probably... That guy over there just fixated on that meat steak. There we go. We'll just light him up real quick. This guy's running. There we go. I just needed him to go down. What are you trying to do right here? Huh? What's your takeaway? Just keep bumping him around a little bit. Give him a thump. Give him a kick. And then ground and pound. There we go. He's done and taken care of. But as I was saying, it's a good thing that the game feels pretty good this time that I'm playing it, and it feels like the combat has actually made some tangible advancements that make it a little bit more complex and a little bit more interesting. That's what the game was lacking the last time I checked it on out, which is ultimately why I decided not to make a video right now and waiting to see more updates. I like the combat update. I think the combat update is pretty good. So from my mind's eye, it just needs more enemy variety. It needs a little bit more like dungeon objective variety. Not necessarily. I guess more dungeon biomes would be good as well. There may be more of them further on into the game. I've been going into a lot of caves and a lot of castles during the course of this game. Oh no, I missed with my big opening strike, and now there's many of them, and they all have armor. I fear for my life. Bump him back. He's stunned. Please die before I run out of stamina. Thank you. All right, they died before I ran out of stamina. But it just needs more stuff. That's pretty much it. I would like a visual representation of how my character looks inside the menu so that when I put on the armors and stuff, I can see myself advancing through the game and getting more sophisticated. I think that a visual representation of character advancement is important to any RPG. It increases immersion. And then from there, just more weapons, more stuff, more enemy varieties, more dungeon varieties. I know that I kind of sound like a dick when I list off stuff like that, but the core gameplay is in a good spot right now. It's in good, enjoyable, if somewhat a little bit repetitive spot right now, and the repetition can only be banished by increasing variety. Like, that's it. And so I look forward to seeing what they do with the game as the year unfolds and what they decide to add on into it as time goes along, because I'm digging the gameplay right now. I don't know if I would play it for more than like 4 or 5 hours. I think the question mark locations are actually really, really interesting. I've enjoyed just about every question mark location I've gone to so far, and those are a bit more varied, where you have like open farmland, or you have kind of like an underground dungeony area, or you have like open air areas where the sun is shining and the grass is blowing and the trees are waving in the wind. And so it was nice to get some outdoor locations from some of the question mark spots that I went to thus far as well. And so there is some variety being injected from the question mark locations that get introduced through side narratives and whatnot. But yeah, variety. That's all that the game needs. I'd like to see magic and spell casting get on in here, because every now and again I feel like doing some finger wiggly stuff. All right, he's stunned. Let's kick him into the wall. Give him a little ground and pound right there, break his armor off, and down he goes. I need to do whatever skill increases the amount of stamina that I have. I need to work on that too. But I think upgraded armor is a good thing to focus on here as well. Some of these dungeons will have little surprises like that trapdoor right there. Keep an eye out for them. The trapdoors can lead to goodies, and usually the way that it works is somewhere inside the dungeon there's going to be like a hidden key that'll be laying around on a shelf or on somebody's bed halfway out from underneath a pillow or something, or inside a little goblin hut. And if you find the key, you can get on in there. Unfortunately, I don't have the key right now, but maybe down on it in the line we'll find it. Some of them can be squirreled away pretty good, though, so keep a weather eye out. I do really, really like the environmental loot that's laying around with it, and I hope they increase the amount of that as well. Ooh, coins, nice. I hope they increase the amount of that as well. Things like candelabras and valuables and necklaces and rings and things of that nature are always a lot more fun to loot than a pile of coins. I don't know if you guys are anything like me, but I enjoy taking all my treasure objects back to the market. Oof. I like taking all my treasure objects back to the market in order to sell them. Let me see. Kick him off the ledge. Oh, he didn't take any damage from it. Wasn't tall enough. That's fine. I'll finish you off the old-fashioned way with focused brutality and violence. Is there anything back here? Hey, there's the key right there. And a silver ingot. Those are worth a decent amount of money. Some copper ore right there. Definitely look around on all the shelves and in the little bins and in the nooks and crannies of this game. There's loot, like, hiding everywhere. So passing marks for me for right now. Probably good for 4 or 5 hours of fun, in my opinion, before the melee combat's going to get a little bit, tired. But that's where variety comes on in. And I mean, like I said, the game feels like it's kind of halfway through its early access to me right now, but I could be way, way off on that guess. I mean, who even knows? Sometimes I am very, very impressed with the scale to which developers want to build out their game. And if they're cool with letting it cruise in early access for 5 or 6 years and they're putting out chunky updates every 3 or 4 months like this game has been, I'm okay with it. Just keep on building, because the core gameplay of this game, which is effectively the combat, the dungeon crawling, and sort of the visual aspects of the game, are all in a good spot now that I enjoy and that I like. And so now I just want like more stuff. I'm getting greedy. My name is Splattercat. I sift through the pile to find what's worthwhile in the world of indie games every single day, so you don't have to. Today up on the chopping block, we were playing around with Raidborn, which is kind of like an open form RPG with procedural dungeons you can crawl through, and the occasional hand design location that you get to crawl through that has like puzzles or like an emergent quest or something else like that. I dig what they're playing around with right now. I've already given my suggestions, and so from there, it's up to you to decide whether or not this is one of those things that tickles your Jimmy. I'll see y'all later. Look after that Jimmy, and I'll see y'all tomorrow with something hot and fresh off the indie skillet.